This is just a real quick little video upload. It's a weather update of what happens when you're living in an RV and a storm hits you. So there's our little RV, and I'll show you what happened to the RV. Okay, this is what happened last night. Our little RV shifted and fell off. How far do you think it shifted?
Look at the tongue, about 3 feet.
About 3 feet. We got hit by a gust of wind and a storm that hit us. It started coming in around 2:30, and then it hit us. The wind hit us around 6. Wow. The kitties were inside freaking out. When we fell off of our, see that block of wood? That's where that tongue of the trailer was. So that's a pretty darn strong wind. So we've got to do some cleanup today. We've got things blown around the pasture. I've got to try to check out our little garden. Ollie's up on top. Even Polly was like, at one point, I had both cats in my lap shaking last night. Them, not me. But anyway, we survived to do cleanup. When the tongue blew off the block that we had it on, it shifted the RV, so this is not sitting where it's supposed to go. And this isn't sitting where it's supposed to be. Well, we're driving the fence line and we look over and there's one of our small tanks. We hadn't filled it with water yet. It blew all the way across the pasture and it hit the fence. So we're hoping it's not damaged because it's new. The road across here this morning had limbs across it, so people were having to pull the limbs off so you could get out. So how did it get wedged in there?
I don't know, it's straightened up, but I think it's probably okay.
Had to have blown through this opening right here and then blown across like that.
Here, let me show you something else.
What you got?
Stand right here, you can see where the top is blown out of that tree.
Oh yeah.
It isn't falling to the ground yet, but there's the limbs laying there, and there's where it broke off.
Yeah, we don't want to be under these limbs in case they decide to fall on our head.
Go around a little bit more, you can't see it yet. Go
I don't want to get hit by
Oh,
limbs.
you're not.
I totally see. All right, see that spot right there? There's 3 tanks. Well, there were 4 tanks there. And whatever hit us, a small tornado or whatever it was, picked one up, lifted it up, moved our RV 3 feet, and then took that tank all the way over there across the pasture. We hadn't hooked up the system yet, but we had about 3 inches of water in each tank to hold them down a little bit, but it didn't hold them down that much. We're at our neighbors and we're looking at some of the trees that were knocked down last night, big oak trees. That's a limb resting on the ground.
Hitting the ground or hitting this other tree on its way down. Might have knocked this off.
And it looked like it broke off right there.
And then worked my way back.
If it was just straight wind, it had a lot of push.
Yeah, it did.
To push over these big rascals.
We've come over to another neighbor's. They're out of town, so we're just checking their house for damage, and they've lost a tree that was uprooted. And then they have another tree that some of the top of it was taken out. and they had some patio furniture that blew around. So we're just picking that up for them real quick before heading back to our place to see what additional damage we'll find. Okay, we did have where the fence of our little raised garden was knocked down. Probably the wind caught my shade cover. I'm not sure. It's just one post, so we'll be able to get it up. We have several small limbs down, but I understand there's been more limbs knocked down in town. And here's a substantial size limb that came off one of our oak trees. So it's kind of not as bad as it could be, but we do have cleanup that'll have to happen. Well, David's out rolling the tank across the pasture to try to get it back to where it was. Roll, roll, roll your tank. You're not singing. I said roll, roll, roll your tank.
Get me up the hill.
You know, it's kind of funny. We had gusts of 60 miles an hour. It didn't even move this tarp, but it totally blew the RV off. And a few little plants were laid over, but you know, I'm okay. David's okay. Cats are okay. But I will tell you, the next system that comes in and we have any type of notice, we're sleeping in that garage. Because that did get scary last night. No hail damage to the house, which is good. Thanks, y'all. Weather update.